Welcome to New England Boating. I'm Parker Kelly.
And I'm Tom Richardson, and today we're coming to you from Plymouth Harbor here on the South Shore of Massachusetts. Historic Plymouth Harbor.
Absolutely.
This is where the Pilgrims landed in 1620.
You
know
don't
that?
say.
Yeah,
you don't say.
I learned that in school one time.
Halfway between Boston and Cape Cod, roughly.
Yeah, it's a great place. Lots going on.
Yep.
Great places to eat. Great places to boat.
From water sports to whale watching.
Got it all.
America's hometown. New England Boating, Plymouth.
Let's go.
That lobster roll looks delicious. I'll give it to you. To another great destination.
Are you shopping for me? Oh, there's a fish. Parker's goofing around. Gonna miss. Make short, sharp sweeps with the rod. We want the fish that can eat that thing. Oh, yeah. Hang on, Parker.
Tom, don't joke.
Okay, we are here at the town launch ramp with Chad Hunter, the harbor master. We're about to go out on the pursuit with Chad. He's going to give us a tour of Plymouth Harbor, tell you what to watch out for, and some cool things to look for.
Okay, so this is the beginning point.
So right now we're at the Duxbury Pier Light, or known as Bug Light area. This is where you have Gurnet to the east, which is the entrance to both Plymouth, Kingston, and Duxbury's channels. Right at Bug Light, all three channels sort of split. This is Plymouth Long Beach, so you have Beach Point, which is just to the south of Bug Light.
And are you allowed to take your boat out there?
You are allowed to take the boat out there, and then you have Browns Bank just to the east, which has been probably the most popular boating destination. And this is where you get the first turn to sort of go into Plymouth Channel. So it's a number 9. We're going to start to make a port turn here, and this is going to now be the Plymouth Channel as we go in.
Mm-hmm. So we're here at the 16 nun and the 17 day marker, and the channel here takes a sharp turn.
You're going to make a turn to starboard or to the right, and you're going to start to head in towards the inner harbor. So you're going to be going straight down this channel. You'll pass the breakwater on your right hand side. That's where you slow down to no wake. That's the mooring field, essentially. You know, when you're talking about dining in Plymouth, or even coming to Plymouth for a few hours, we do have moorings available free of charge. We'll set you up with a mooring, and then the only thing you have to, if you have a tender, you can go back freely. But if you need a launch, you're going to pay the launch.
So the marina behind us here, Chad, that's Brewer?
That's Brewer's Marine. Yep. D-Dock is their transient dock, and they're usually at capacity in the summer months.
And over here we got famous Plymouth Rock, I'm guessing.
That's it.
I remember it from my kid field trips.
They're doing some improvements. They're working on the rock itself as well, which is pretty significant. And this is all in preparation for 2020.
2020.
That's the big one, huh?
One.
You're gonna be busy.
So it's kind of sad. Yeah, the Mayflower is not going to be with us for this summer and next summer.
Wow, because they're restoring it in Mystic.
They are, yeah, and they get a lot of work. So yeah, she'll be back here again. This is one of the improvements that is sort of happening in preparation for 2020. So this is Town Wharf. This is where the harbor master's office, or shack as most people call it, and then we have the boat ramp as well, where there's some tender space to tie up to. This seems to be the popular side. There's a lot of restaurants very close to this Plymouth Harbor.
Chad Hunter, great harbor tour. Thank you very much.
Yes,
I know our audience of avid boaters will be very appreciative of that. Yes.
Big harbor, big plans.
Yes, and you got big plans.
Yes,
Speaking
I do.
of which, right?
Yes, I do. About town.
You're going about town and exploring the town, I assume.
So before I go about town, I ran into Sarah, who is a tour guide here.
The trolley itself is during the summertime. It goes all around to Plymouth and hits a lot of the important historical points. It's a 50-minute narrated tour.
Okay, 50 minutes. Perfect. Sarah, trolley. Let's go.
All right. So this is the National Monument to the Forefathers. It is the largest freestanding granite monument in the world. So right now we're at Samoset Street. Samoset was a Native American of the Algonquin tribe in Maine. He had learned English coming southbound in his travels, and it was due to Samoset's help that the Pilgrims were able, in part, to survive the area, the new area. On our left, we have the Pilgrim Hall Museum. It is the oldest continuously operated museum in the United States, an 1820 courthouse. It served as a courthouse from 1820 until 2007. This is the first parish church. It is the oldest church in the United States. If we look up in between the two buildings, we have Burial Hill. The oldest stones go back to 1680.
Well, thank you, Sarah. That was a great trip. Lots of information, little history, and also a very cute way to travel. You're a great tour guide. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, so 7 trips a day. Pretty short change, $5, $10. You get all the sights of Plymouth from Sarah. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
And so here I am, America's hometown. This is Court Street, just up from Water Street, still very close to the harbor. And there's all sorts of boutiques, and there's antique shops, and the Phil has its office here, and it looks like there's Spire, which is performing arts, and there's a bakery. As you can see, people are enjoying themselves at this Guilty Bakery. It's just fun. It's got a lot of interesting things, and it's just a short stroll from the harbor. I'm going to check out some shops. I have to show you this one, Setting the Space, and wait till you see the unique gifts. Giant Jenga, all these different kinds of jewelry. Come on in. Just really unique type of things. Ornate jewelry, giant, beautiful chandeliers. So interesting. Everything here is just so unique. So neat, and it's huge in here. Look how big it is. And did I mention restaurants? Seems like there's a restaurant for every taste you could have. There's a sports bar and grill, there's Mexican, there's Thai, there's live music, there's taverns. Seems like there's a taste for everybody here. What do you like best about Plymouth? Is it the history, the Mayflower?
I like the history because history is my favorite.
It is?
Yeah, I like to learn about the Mayflower and all the Pilgrims.
Oh, very cool. So when you go down there, you're missing the Mayflower now. You know it's in Mystic, Connecticut. I'm getting refurbished right now.
Yeah.
It's a great town. It's so much fun. There's so much going on. There's so many. I've lived here for almost 9 years, and there's so many parts I haven't even explored.
Well, you can't come to Plymouth Harbor without a tour of Plymouth Plantation.
We are the museum of the 17th century Atlantic world. We're a living history museum. So that means that unlike many other museums out there, you can touch things, you can experience things. It's a very hands-on experiential museum, which is really exciting.
And what about this part of the museum that we're in right here?
So we have a number of exhibits. One of the exhibits that people are probably most familiar with is our 17th century English village. And that's where all of our pilgrims are.
Right, and they are in
They're
character.
in costume, they're in character,
Yeah.
They are portraying actual people who came over on the Mayflower in 1620.
So tell me, what was life like on the Mayflower?
Well, Master, you understand she's a merchant ship.
Yes.
And so she is not made for comfort. It's unusual cargo.
Yes.
Well, you understand now, if you're one of my merchant sailors, you will keep your filthy mitts off my passengers. These lubbers will all tell you he's an old-fashioned whipping captain.
Oh, okay.
So I'll take your skin, lad, if you do make some mistake you ought not. But I'll leave your pay in your pocket.
So Tom, I would love to introduce you to Don Hemenitz.
Hey,
He's one of
Don.
our maritime
Hi, how's it
artisans.
Good. So what are some of the projects you're involved in here?
One of the big things is, of course, Mayflower too.
Yep.
But so we also have some other boats. We got the ship's boat right here, which historically would have been sort of like the dinghy that Mayflower brought across in 1620. This was built here by some artisans and volunteers in the early 90s.
Using traditional tools.
Tools, and all of these boards are hand-shaped and steam bent. One of the biggest things you got to watch out for in the 1600s, of course, it's going to sound funny, but pirates.
Yeah, you don't really think about it.
You don't really think about that.
Yeah.
Now, Mayflower in 1620 never had any trouble with pirates, at least not that we know of. But the very next ship that followed her in 1621, on her way back, she got pirated by the French.
Oh, no kidding.
And another ship a couple years later by the Ottomans.
So they had to have some defense.
That's right.
Any idea how much each of these bad boys weighs?
A lot.
Yeah, I can't budget that.
The reason they're stuck here is because we needed the chain false even to move them.
Right.
But we have carriages for them as well, and right now the carriages are in many pieces.
Yeah.
We're rebuilding all the carriages, and they're actually pretty close to being done. So we'll be able to reassemble them soon, and
and then put them back on here and move them around as we need to.
Cool.
So Tom, welcome to the Wampanoag homesite.
Thank you.
This is one of our major exhibits here at Plymouth Plantation. And this is Tim Turner.
Hey, Tim.
Turner
Nice to meet you.
is
Yes.
our guest experience manager for the homesite. And he'll be happy to tell you a little bit more about Machoon.
Yeah, what is it now? What is the Machoon?
Machoon is the word for boat, and we could go over and take a look at one and I'll tell you a little bit about it.
Excellent, because I'll tell you, we're a boating show. We like to keep things nautical.
This is a Machoon. The word Machoon translates out loosely to large bowl in the Wampanoag language. So what we do is we start a small fire in one section of the tree at the very bottom, get it to burn in a ways, and then about 3 feet up we'd put a big ring of clay. And then we'd start a large fire around the bottom and we'd burn that to that void, and that tree would weaken and it would fall.
Oh, I got it. Okay. And that's so you'd actually fell it that way.
Fell it with fire.
Okay.
Absolutely. The whole process in making this is done by burning and scraping. So once you fell the tree, you'd burn off the length that you wanted. You take off your branches, any bark, and you start fire to that round tree.
Okay.
From one end to the other end, we'd burn 24 hours a day. And I've made one of these boats in about 4.5 days.
Managing that fire and then scraping it out the charred pieces of wood, and that's how you get the dugout thing.
Absolutely. So when you're burning, you are scraping at the same time. So it's a burning scraping method. The more you scrape, the quicker the boat burns.
Yeah, it's a labor-intensive process, though.
It is, but you know, once it's done, this boat will last you about 10 to 15 years.
Oh, wow, no kidding. That's a lot longer than I thought. And so what would they use the Machoon for?
So a smaller one like this was used for fishing, maybe a little bit of traveling. I mean, it's kind of like your family vehicle.
Yeah.
We had larger boats, 40-man boats.
40-man boats?
Yep, that is an estimated tree of more than 60 feet long by 6 to 8 feet in diameter.
Wow.
And they took boats like that from here out to Nantucket and Mountain Vineyard, 30, 40 miles across.
That's incredible. That's amazing. Tim, thank you so much for showing me a Machoon.
Coming up.
And maybe I'll get to go on one sometime.
Absolutely. You're going to have to come back and take a ride.
That's right. That's what I'll do.
I'm still on the property of Plymouth Plantation, and I am at a beautiful farmer's market. Here's Dave Purpura.
We are a year-round market. We go once a month all winter long, and then we're out here from the beginning of June through the end of October, every Thursday from 2:30 to 6:30.
Yeah, so I hear music.
We have music. We have quite the mix of vendors. We try to have a whole selection of prepared foods.
I just got a little juicy there from Bella, and I know she has a juice bar downtown too. It's very nice.
Very nice. And we have a story time at 4 o'clock for the kids.
Oh, nice.
So it is a very much, like you say, it's very much a community market. We have just an amazing group of regular customers that come week to week. But then also, as you say, we have people come from all over the world, because here we are in America's hometown.
Yes,
and
indeed.
You know what I mean? It
Yes,
just doesn't occur. It always blows my mind. There's people from here, from England and Germany and France. But there's more. We also have a massage tent.
Oh, what?
I know.
You don't have that at a farmer's market.
Well, we do this year.
That's awesome. Thank you. So nice to meet you. I'm
Nice to meet you.
go get a massage, check out some flowers, some
There you
things
go.
that are already ready prepared.
There you go.
Very nice.
All right. Here comes our drinks, I think.
Yep.
From Mike.
Mount Gay rum punch.
All right.
Mount Gay dark and stormy.
Thank you.
Mount Gay, dark and stormy, and you got the rum punch.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Well, I think we're sitting over here.
Yeah. This is perfect. You get to see the water.
Nice spot.
Just want to say, great fan of the show. I love all the stuff you guys talk about. You know, when you're a boater like me and you're coming into a place where you haven't been before, it's good to have that local knowledge. Mark, I know your parents, your mother, I knew your father, and I know your mother, and your father was the first one to give me a job when I came out of high school.
It's a small boating world.
Yeah. But no, seriously, I mean, I was a single dad at 17, right out of high school, and not a lot of people want to give someone like that a job. My dad gave me a job, and I did well. I worked for him for 4 years.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for coming over.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Brian.
enjoy.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you.
It was good to meet you guys.
Hey there, folks.
Hi there.
Oh, that looks lovely.
Ahi tuna, our very popular appetizer, and our Prince Edward Island sauteed mussels, one of Chef's specialties. Our famous lobster roll,
Oh, that looks delicious.
and our house specialty salad, salmon salad.
Ooh.
Summer-inspired swordfish, sea bass can trace.
Oh, with the balsamic shrimp. Oh, that's good. Oh, it's really good.
I'm here with Eric Daigle. He's the general manager here at East Bay Grill. Tell us a little bit about this restaurant. Primo spot.
Absolutely.
Are you open year round? Like, give us a little.
We're open year round. Outside, obviously, it's seasonal. We've been open for 17 years now. This outside venue, the bar, has been open for 10 years now. And we offer the freshest seafood, some excellent steak options, a la carte, and a full wide array menu that really covers all the bases.
Yeah, really delicious. And I love the outdoor patio and your whole palm tree motif out there.
It gives you a nice tropical feel.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, the food was delicious. Tom and I had a great time. Beautiful spot here. I'm sure we'll be back. And you know, we already talked about with the harbor master that you can get a mooring and get the launch, come right in as you're a boater, and then there are some, if you have your little dinghy, there's a dinghy dock too.
Right.
So, great dock and dine right here.
Absolutely.
East Bay Grill. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
One of the most amazing things to do here when you're in Plymouth is to go for a whale watching tour. And this is Captain John's boat, and they've been doing it for, someone said since the 70s, like a long, long time. All these people here excited to see whales. I'm excited to see whales. They guarantee we're going to see whales, so let's go. So I'm here in the pilot house with Captain John. They only hire captains named John because that's the name of the whole organization, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So how far are we out now?
About 5 miles off the Durham Point. We got another 11 miles to go before we hit Stellwagen Bank.
Yeah, now,
we're going to start looking for whales.
Yeah, and how long have you been a captain?
I've been a captain since 2000. Been doing work there. It's going to be for a year now.
Yeah.
I really like it a lot. It's fun.
So do you fish for them too?
I do the fishing too.
Yeah.
I also do the town ferry and I have a paddle boat that does harbor cruises. It's always fun.
Yep. Well, cool. In the pilot house, you gonna let me take a chance at that wheel for a minute?
Sure.
Yeah, baby. All right, here we go.
So we're the northernmost part of their migration. They're here in order to eat. They're here during the summer months. So they get here about April and they'll leave, which is in fall. They're trying to gain about 6 to 8 tons in weight over the course of the feeding season.
And so I'm with Michelle. She's the naturalist. She's been on the mic talking to the people on the boat. Is it just complete pleasure when you're out here, or are you actually studying and noticing and recording?
Sure. So for me, it's completely pleasure, and it's making sure my passengers have a good time.
Yeah.
For our interns, it's a different story.
Yeah.
When we have a lot of whales, everybody else loves it except for the interns.
Because
they have to write down every group of whales they see, where they are, what they're doing, what time it is, how long we're with them. You can actually identify humpback whales as individuals, and so with that they have to figure out who each whale is as well. So we work with all other whale watch boats, so everybody kind of takes a different spot. So being out of Plymouth, we're always responsible for checking this area. The guys out of P-Town will check around the beach, this area. The guys out of Boston will check that northern part of the bank because they're going to go through it anyway.
Yeah.
So we all work together, and then whoever finds whales, we share our sightings.
So what's the most important thing you think that people need to know about whales? Like if you could leave the audience with just one impression about whales, what would you say?
So my thing is that whales are so important to our ecosystem. So while they're really interesting and cool, they also have a really important purpose. Everyone kind of gets shy and giggles about it, but it's because they poop a lot. So all the plants of the ocean provide about 2/3 of the oxygen that we have in our air for us to breathe. And we have so many plants because the whales bring nutrients. So just like you put manure on your garden, it's the same thing, except for we're not going to bring manure out here to feed these plants as the whales can actually do.
All right, Michelle, this is so exciting out here. There's so many things going on the horizon, but I want to talk about how our boaters really want to come see this, but they should come with you guys because you know what you're doing.
When we come into areas, we follow these guidelines that are set for this area. So that takes into consideration these whales, their behavior, what they're doing, and how to operate your boat best around them. So it takes a couple years to break in a new whale watch captain. And so it's not something you can just pick up right away. It really is an art form. And yesterday even we saw a whale come right by a boat that didn't know what they were doing, and they almost were right up on the back of it. And so when you're doing this, it causes great harm to these animals. They just published a study that says almost 15% of whales have scar scars from being hit by a boat and are still living. So that doesn't take into account any of the ones that die from it. And so we want to make sure that our whales stay as safe as possible. We know that most of those strikes happen not by whale watch boats. Very, very, very few.
And not intentionally. So you know what?
None of them are intentional.
Come visit Plymouth. Come on this whale watch tour with people who are experts. Keep your boat at the dock or on the mooring and have Michelle and John just take you out and go see these beautiful, majestic creatures, honestly. And then be safe. Be safe. And then you save some gasoline too.
Yeah.
Currently, there is only one full-service marina on Plymouth Harbor, Brewer Plymouth Marine, located on the southern end of the harbor, not far from the waterfront attractions, restaurants, and shops, and just a few hundred feet from the main channel. Brewer hosts over 1,200 transient vessels each season and can accommodate boats up to 150 feet in floating slips and along its long face dock. It also offers rack storage for seasonal customers. On-site amenities include gas and diesel, showers, laundry, ice, Wi-Fi, water, power, and marine supplies. And if your boat needs service or repair, they can handle that too. Oh, and Brewer Plymouth is also home to a popular on-site restaurant and bar called the Surfside Smokehouse. Overall, it's a great spot to keep your boat when visiting Plymouth Harbor.
Well, what a beautiful night to end our Plymouth episode.
Yeah.
Right in front of the bank.
That's right, Brown's Bank right behind us. It's a great boaters party spot. Place to hang out at low tide. They come here on a nice summer day. There'll be hundreds of people sometimes out here. Just beach their boat, go ashore, and they have a private beach themselves.
Yeah, well, what a nice time we've had in Plymouth.
It's been awesome.
It's America's hometown, Tom.
It is, and it's got tons of history, but it's also got a lot of new things coming for boaters.
Oh yeah,
as well.
downtown had lots of shops too, and lots of boutiques, and lots of restaurants, and lots of taverns, and lots of things going on.
And that's right, and then in a few more years, they're going to be celebrating the 400th anniversary of the Mayflower.
Yeah, I think some big plans for that. To see where we're going to be next week, please follow us on social media.
That's right, and also on, don't forget to visit newenglandboating.com. You find lots of great information on destinations and news and anything boating related there. And don't forget,
there's a magazine.
There's a magazine, that's right.
I wonder who it is.
And guess what it's called? It's
New England Boating.
That's right, and you can get that too. And again, it's chock full of informative articles to help you plan your boating trips.
Yep, so right between Cape Cod and Boston is Plymouth.
That's right.
Until next week, I'm Parker Kelly.
And I'm Tom Richardson.
See ya.
Bye.